Hi there, this is Carl, and I want to review today this Bluetti EB3A, which is a 600 watt battery power supply that does a lot more than your average run-of-the-mill UPS. So as you can see, it has various kinds of inputs. The most common thing you're probably going to use is to plug it into the wall. It takes a standard size industrial plug or electronic type plug and plugs in the front, which makes sense if you think this thing is probably going to spend most of its life sitting on a shelf waiting for an emergency, right? So having access to the front so that you can go plug something in probably makes some sense. It has also got an input so that you can plug it into a solar panel. Now, in terms of outputs, it's got both AC and DC. So it's got US or North and South America 120 volt outputs at a standard 60 hertz, so 60 cycles per second. And there's two of those in total rated for 600 watts or for 268 watt hours. Now, I plugged in something into this that you should never plug into your standard battery UPS. Normally, you would not plug a space heater into your battery backup for your computer. But this has what's called a power mode, and so I turned on the power mode. I got the little muscular arm icon. Now, I recommend that if you're going to do this, plug in a couple of things, but don't put in one extension cord and then another and another and another. Remember, extension cords, when they're super, super, super long, if they're not big enough, they're going to have enough resistance that they're going to start to heat up. So don't put yourself in that situation. Put a handful of things in very close proximity and plug them in. Or take this with you to your refrigerator and plug it in for a while, and then take it to your space heater and plug it in for a while. So if you're going to use this around the house, you're going to need to take it to different areas if there's a lengthy power outage. Now, this is spectacular if you decide that you want to go camping. This will take all of your AC appliances, but it also can power your 12 volt automotive stuff, right? So if you plug in the automotive outlet, it's just like a cigarette lighter. So whatever you would plug into your cigarette lighter for power, you could do here. It's also got a couple of extra 12 volt outlets with a different plug style, the kind of thing that you would use with your solar panels, right? So this can be charged by AC or by the solar panels. It's also got a couple of regular USB outputs that are, a total of 60 watts, pretty good. And then it's got a USB-C, which is 100 watts, which means that you could charge your laptop off of this if it takes a USB-C input. On the top, it's got a space, it's kind of hard to see, but it's got an area where if you have a wireless charging system, you can just put your cell phone on top of there and it'll just charge the cell phone as well. So whenever you have the power enabled for AC or DC, you're going to get this nice display of what is coming in and what is going out. If you want to, you could use this as a pass-through unit, plug it into the wall, plug your battery backups or whatever, your computer stuff into here. It will clean the signal going into your UPSs and so forth. So if the AC coming into this is a very irregular generator, this will clean that and give you a nice sine wave coming out. So you won't harm your battery backups, your UPSs. If you put this in between, it will charge the battery in the meantime while it's doing that. So that's a very cool thing. Now, it's also got this light here, which I'm going to turn this on. So please be aware that this is going to be very bright. So there's the first setting, the second setting, and then it's got kind of an emergency, like, I'm stuck on the side of the road and I thought I'd flash my battery at you setting. So that may not be the most useful thing unless it's the only source of light you have and you don't have a bunch of these sitting around your house with the LED. And I have another review of the Neewer lights. You can go look that one up. So this does have an actual UPS mode where it's intended to give you the power you need to, this could be your battery backup for your computers, and that's totally fine. You can have it live with that function, or you can charge it and put it on the shelf, and it should last a very, very long time. Now, be aware that super cold temperatures with all lithium-ion batteries, super cold temperatures will make it charge more slowly, and so it may also not last as long. So occasionally take this thing out and charge it up completely and then discharge it completely just to extend the battery life. But you don't have to do that very often, you know, and for the most part, you should be able to sit it on a shelf for a very long time. I will tell you, this has a fan that doesn't come on very often, but when it comes on, you're going to hope you're not on a Zoom call. I would not keep this in the same room all the time plugged in where I am doing my regular business, because the fan isn't super loud, but it's loud enough that it can be picked up by your microphone if you're on a call. One of the big frustrations I had with this was the packaging. I ordered this from Amazon. So the Bluetti ships in its own little box with a handle, very cute, quite delightful. And then they put it into a shipping ready box. So you got a box within a box. Even though the first box was ready for shipping, now you got 2 layers of box ready for shipping. And then if you order it from Amazon, they put the whole thing in another box. I can tell you that this weighs 11 pounds. How do I know that? Because the entire shipment was 14.2 pounds and the cardboard was 3.2 pounds, leaving exactly 11 pounds for this device. Now, I'm going to just give a shout out to my friend Ryan, who is the battery nerd of all time. Take a look at this. Not a bad thing to take with you if you're driving up into the mountains. Not a bad thing to take with you if you're going to go someplace where you might get stuck due to rain or snow or ice or whatever. And for me, not a bad thing to have around the house. If your electricity tends to go out from time to time, this can dramatically extend the life of your other stuff. And I can, and I do, and I will plug my battery backups into the output of this so that if I have an emergency, I will be able to run my equipment for a very, very long time. Oh, one other note, this comes with an app that connects to the internet through your Wi-Fi and then connects by Bluetooth to this device. And it said I would be able to update firmware with that. I didn't see an option to do that, but it may be that there's no firmware available and the option will magically appear someday. But I was able to change the modes on this between normal, UPS, and power mode. And I was able to take a screenshot. You can also do some extra things, turning on the AC and the DC and do some other stuff. So the app doesn't do a lot of stuff, but it's kind of handy to have around. Anyway, there's lots of these batteries available on Amazon and other places. I am duly impressed with the Bluetti. I will say the first time you charge it, it runs down pretty fast. So the second time you charge it to 100%, it's going to last a lot longer. So just kind of be aware that you have to train the battery a bit, but it is a very good device, and I expect to get a long life out of it. Comments and questions down below. Give it a thumbs up if you'd like it. Please subscribe to the channel. I really appreciate it. And I will see you next time on one of these random videos that I just do occasionally.